Hello, so I'm going to go over 2.2 core focus adding and subtracting equations. So let's go over a couple of these examples. Okay, here so we have an example of x plus 14 minus 20 equals 16 plus 9. So think about your orders of operation. So there's no parentheses, there's no exponents. All there is adding and subtracting. So the first thing we can do is combine like terms. So we can combine the 14 and the negative 20. And we can combine the 16 and the 9. So 14 minus 20 is going to give us a negative 6. And then 16 plus 9 is going to give us 25. So now we just want to get x by itself. So remember here we have a negative 6. We want that spot to equal 0. So to go from negative 6, you have to add 6 to get to 0. And what you do to one side, we do to the other side. So this is going to be 0, so it's going to cancel out. So then x is going to equal 31. And you can double check that by putting it into your starting equation. So let's work through this side. So we have 31 plus 14. So if I write that over here. So 31 plus 14 minus 20. So really quick here I can go 20 and 30. If I subtract 20 from 31, that's going to give me 11. And then 11 plus 14 is going to give me 25. Then if we look here, we did this already, so we see here that 16 plus 9 is equal to 25. So that is correct. Alright, so for our next example, we have 15 minus 3x plus 9x is equal to negative 20 plus 47. So right away, if I want to combine like terms, I can see here, leave this as 15, and then you have negative 3x plus 9x. So you can think of that as 9x minus 3x. So that's going to give us a positive 6x. And then we can rewrite this as 47 minus 20. So that is going to give us 27. So over here we have positive 15. So we're going to minus 15 from both sides. Because remember, we're trying to get x by itself. So those cancel out, and we're going to get 6x is equal to 27 minus 15 is going to give us 12. And now since this is multiplication, we're going to divide by 6 to get this to cancel each other out. So when we do to one side, we do to the other side. So here we get x is equal to 2. Alright, so our next example is going to be 5 parentheses x plus 2 minus 3x is equal to 17 minus 33. So the first thing we can do, we can work that 5 through the parentheses. So 5 times x, that would leave us with 5x. And then 5 times 2 gives us 10. I still have that 3x here. And then 17 minus 33 gives us a negative 16. So now we can combine like terms here. So 5x minus 3x gives us 2x plus 10 is equal to a negative 16. So now what we can do is we can subtract 10 from both sides. So we get 2x is equal to a negative 26. So we have to divide by 2. So this cancels out. So x is going to equal a negative 13. Alright, so our next example is be working with decimals. So we have 3.6 plus x minus 8.3 is equal to 4.3. So this one here might throw you off a little bit, but don't worry about the decimals. They're just numbers. So what we can do is the same thing as we were done before. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can either combine like terms on each side and then work on getting x by itself, or you can take these across individually. So I'm going to combine like terms first. So we're going to take the negative 8.3 and we're going to add the 3.6. And that is going to give us x minus 4.7 is equal to 4.3. And because this is a negative 4.7, we can add 4.7 to both sides. Because remember, we want all this here to equal 0, and it does. So then x is equal to 9. Okay, so for our next example, we have 1/5, and then inside the parentheses, we have 2x minus 15 plus 3/5 x equals 4 1/4. So the first thing we can do is work through this 1/5 into the parentheses. So you have 1/5 and you times it by 2. It's going to, you can work it into decimal, which would be 0.4, and you can put that back into a fraction, which is going to give you 2/5 x, and then 1/5 times negative 15. That's going to give you a negative 3. Because remember, this like think of this as divide, or you can divide by 5. So 2 divided by 5, you can keep this as 2/5. Negative 15 divided by 5 gives you that negative 3. We still have that 3/5 x here. So now we can combine like terms. So you have 2/5 plus 3/5, which give you 1. So you're going to have x minus 3 is equal to 4 1/4. So you can add 3 to both sides. So then x is going to equal 7 1/4. So don't let the fractions throw you off. Just remember how to handle those fractions and you'll be all set. Remember, you can always plug this back into the original equation and double check your work there as well. Alright, thank you so much for watching. If you do have any other questions about this, please let your homeroom teacher know.